All right, everybody, welcome to this week's edition of our live video in the permanent weight loss community. This is Pete Weintraub, permanent weight loss specialist. I'm the founder of the permanent weight loss community. We have not one, not two, not three, but four awesome questions today from BJ. We're going to go over those in just a second, but if you're watching or listening to this at a later time on either my YouTube channel or my podcast, it's really easy to join the permanent weight loss community. Basically, all you have to do is go to the search bar on Facebook, type in permanent weight loss community. It's going to prompt you to answer 3 questions after your request to join, and if I think you're a good fit, I will let you in. It's that simple. It's for folks who have 25 or more pounds to lose. You want to prevent or reverse some chronic conditions you're suffering from, and obviously if you're looking to avoid weight loss surgery or anything like that, you're more than welcome to come in where you do one of these live segments exclusively for permanent weight loss community members once a week. And the rest of the time, you'll be getting my blog posts, videos, podcasts, and all that delivered to you within the Facebook group, so you don't have to look any further than Facebook. So let's get this down, and we're going to go with the first question here. So BJ asks, what are your thoughts about a 24 to 36 hour fast? I have a friend who said doing something like that would really cut down on my food cravings. So for starters, 24 to 36 hour fast, it's not a bad idea whatsoever. Fasting, I personally practice intermittent fasting more often than not every day of the week. And basically what that enables your body to do is go through a process called autophagy. It's a process in which your cells are able to replenish themselves. So they take out all the toxic and negative cells and they rebuild newer ones. It's a great way of cellular regeneration. And there are people who fast for up to a week or so. You know, usually 3-day fast, 24 to, 72 hour fasts are pretty popular these days. There's nothing wrong with it. If you feel you can handle it, definitely go about doing that. And we've covered intermittent fasting in the past, but just for a lot of folks who do go through a fast, you really, obviously, you don't want to eat any food. You want to really keep to water, some tea, or maybe even some coffee, but you don't want any sweeteners, whether artificial sweeteners that will mess up your gut microbiome and cause an insulin response, or sugar, which also causes an insulin response. If you're going to sweeten anything, use stevia, which has no effect on your blood sugar levels. There's monk fruit as well, which also has no effect on your blood sugar levels. But outside of water, coffee, or tea, you're not eating any whole foods for the duration of time. But BJ, I don't think that's a bad idea at all. If you feel you can handle it, go for it. In terms of reducing cravings, I'm honestly not sure. I have not fasted in my life for that long. I've never gone more than, I haven't even gone 24 hours in all honesty. Fasting, the longest I've ever gone is 21 or 22. So I can't tell you if that reduces cravings. I do know that if I'm eating clean and I'm practicing intermittent fasting, my cravings do go down significantly, and I can turn away things that otherwise I probably wouldn't. So I think it's definitely worth a try. I didn't find any medical literature that would suggest that that happens. I know that a lot of people who have done fasts of that length have said that that is a side effect, and a positive side effect. So try it out. I don't see any issue with it. I think it's a healthy thing to do at the very least, and if it helps reduce some of your cravings, all the better. Let's get into your second question now. What is the least bad alcohol to drink to not screw up your weight loss? It's been a long week. Yes, it has. So in terms of that, I like to talk about my trio of terror with a lot of my clients. So the trio of terror is gin, tequila, and dry red wine. So gin is made from different herbs, a juniper herb in particular. It is not made from any grain-based form of alcohol or grain in general, and therefore it's a lot better for you to drink. Now obviously any alcohol, it slows your immune system, it hinders your immune system, it slows your metabolism, and obviously if you have one too many, it lowers your inhibitions and makes you very susceptible to eating crappy foods that you otherwise wouldn't eat in a more sober state. So there's always a risk of that with alcohol regardless, and drinking alcohol isn't always the best thing. If you are going to drink, though, again, gin, which is made from herbs, tequila, which is made from the agave plant. So unlike a lot of the grain-based alcohols like whiskey, bourbon, beer even, it's a much better thing to drink. So in that regard, and then the last thing is dry red wine. So there's white wine and there's red wine. White wine tends to have more sugar in it. So red wines do too, but there are drier forms. In fact, I have a client who's used Dry Farms wine, I believe it's called, and they deliver it right to your door. It's all a dry red wine, so if you like dry red wine, that's an adequate choice. But again, you don't want to drink any type of alcohol in excess. Like I said, it can slow your metabolism, lower your inhibitions, neither of which is very good when you want to stay on point on your weight loss journey. So minimize the amount with which you drink, and if you do drink, stick with gin, tequila, or dry red wine. Getting to the third question, BJ says, I have a crazy busy day Saturday. This was from last week. I wasn't able to do a video or podcast for this last week, so I apologize. I have a crazy busy day Saturday with reffing 5 games, all cardio, and helping a friend with some heavy items while he moves. This is a legit 9-hour day. How should I plan eating? Probably not going to have time to stop for any kind of meal until after both are done. Yeah, so this isn't really all that different. 9-hour day is not too different from a work day, and yeah, it sounds like you're going to be running around literally and figuratively a little bit on that day, but really what you want to do is simply you need to prepare in advance. And obviously I'm sure you're going to have days like this again, BJ, and anybody watching or listening to this has days like that where you're just swamped and you're not really sure where you're going to get your next meal or snack in, and you want to make sure you're covered so that you don't turn to a bad decision because you're starving and you're willing to eat or drink anything. So what I suggest is what I always do. I always go to the grocery store and get a canister of some raw nuts or seeds. Right now I have Brazil nuts in my car. I literally put it in my glove compartment, and I drive a lot. So when I'm out and I'm hungry and I don't have time to stop to pick up something healthy, maybe I'm not in an area where there is anything healthy, or I know I'm not going to be able to stop and eat anything healthy for a long period of time, a handful or two of those goes a long way. So that's number one that I would recommend. You can also, if you know about this in advance, you can bring some healthy fruits and snacks with you, low glycemic fruits, right? So apples, berries, oranges, those are all good things that you can bring with you in the car, and you can just have while you're driving, or you can just, take it out of the Ziploc bag and eat it in a couple of minutes and you're done with it. And that way you can continue to do what you're supposed to do, but it's not going to throw you too far back. So that's number two. So those are a couple of options that you can do that'll hold you over until you do have the ability to sit down and have a healthy meal. All right, so I hope that answered your question. But yeah, you always want to come prepared. You don't want to go into a day where you know you're going to have very few breaks and very few opportunities to ingest something healthy. You want to make sure that you're there and able to eat something healthy, and we all have the ability to plan ahead. So just plan a little bit of planning and prep goes a long way. Just throwing some stuff in a Ziploc, or just taking that canister right out of the grocery bag and putting it in your glove box, and then you're good to go. All right, so that was your third question, and I believe the last question, question 4. I've been putting on weight, 6 pounds over the last 2 weeks specifically, but I haven't been eating much different than usual. In fact, 2 days I gained a pound while doing heavy lifting and eating pretty darn well. This is getting really frustrating. Is there a reason why my body is failing me? Well, I wouldn't say your body's failing you. I don't know exactly what you're eating, so it's very hard for me to discern exactly what is throwing you off, if anything. What tends to happen when you do heavy lifting is you inflame your muscles. And when you inflame your muscles, that causes, guess what? Inflammation in the area, which can lead to water retention, which can lead to weight gain. So that could be a culprit just off the top of my head. Also, if you eat either a fibrous or a salty meal before you weigh yourself, and I recommend you weigh yourself in the morning, and once a week too. So Thursday, which is today, is the day that all my clients weigh themselves, take body measurements, the whole nine. And they do it first thing. They wake up, they go to the bathroom, they strip down, they get on the scale. So that way they don't ingest anything beforehand. So that way you get the most accurate reading. But that being said, there are weeks and there are times where the night before you had a fibrous, you had a salty meal, even if it was healthy, and that led to water retention, which unfortunately leads to weight gain. So you may not be doing anything wrong. It may just be that you're between your muscles being inflamed and maybe having a fibrous or salty meal. You look like you gained a little weight. It may not even be real weight. You could also be backed up for all you know. So once that came out of your system, maybe you were right back down to where you wanted to be. So I'd have to look at your diet more closely, BJ. But overall, I think that there are a few things just off the top of my head that I think could be the culprit of this. And I wouldn't worry too much about it. Your body's not failing you. And another thing that I'd want to emphasize too is that, and I mentioned this just before, my clients also take body measurements, and there's a reason you want to take measurements. I have a client who just today reached her weight loss goal, and it took her almost a year. And every week she either stayed the same or she lost weight. And some weeks she lost multiple pounds. Other weeks she lost half a pound or not even half a pound. But she took measurements. And often it was funny because the weeks where she didn't lose as much weight, she would actually lose more in inches. So her body composition kept changing. You could see month to month to month, she was doing better and better and better and looking better and better and better. And even though, yeah, it took her a little longer to lose 40 pounds, her body is completely different today than it was at this time 1 year ago. So take body measurements and also take progress photos from the front, the back, if you can, if you live with someone and they can take it for you, and the side, and literally compare it week to week. Maybe create a folder on your phone or on your computer and just compare how you look from the front, the back, and the side week to week to week. And you'll see your stomach goes in, your chest tones up, your arms tone up, you know, etc. Your if you have a double chin, that goes in, whatever the case may be, and you'll see the change going on. The more data you can keep on your weight loss journey, the better. So that's something to consider as well. So take as much data as possible. Weight, and we've been over this before, but I'll say it again. Weight is by far the least, I know this is, I say I'm a permanent weight loss specialist. It's the permanent weight loss community. You're looking to lose weight. I know we always measure the scale as the end-all be-all. It is obviously a lot simpler to do than to take body measurements and all that. But trust me, if you have more data and you don't have the best week on the scale, then you know you lost X inches around your waist. That's a good thing. Then you know that you're starting to look a little leaner in your midsection or wherever by your progress photos. That's also a good thing. So you can take more wins out of each week as opposed to being reliant on this one piece of data that again can be skewed by so many different factors. I laid out 3 and I don't even know what you ate or exactly what you were doing lifting wise, but those are valid reasons why you may have gained 2 pounds and you may have gained some of the weight in the last week. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. And one last thing about that too that just came to mind. Stress, the stress hormone, cortisol, has been linked to weight retention. So if you've been more stressed than usual lately for whatever the reason, BJ, on top of all that other stuff, that can be leading to it too. I've seen clients who were losing weight like clockwork and they were just going through their daily lives and their routines and nothing out of the ordinary was happening. But the second something really stressful came up, then they started to falter. Even if they were eating right and exercising regularly and getting as much sleep as they possibly could, especially quality sleep, they weren't really seeing the results. And it could often be due to the fact that they were stressed, their body was pumping out cortisol, and that was hindering their weight loss efforts. So I hope that helps you out, BJ. I'm going to look in the comments here. We don't have any other questions. So guys, again, if you're looking to join the permanent weight loss community, we do this live video exclusively for members every Thursday at 12 Eastern Standard Time. So only permanent weight loss community members get to ask me their questions about health, fitness, nutrition, mindset, and of course, permanent weight loss. And it can be a great indicator for you. So if you want to join, again, go to Facebook, type in permanent weight loss community, answer the 3 questions, and if I feel you're a good fit, I will let you in. It's a smaller group and we keep growing every single week, slowly but surely. So if you feel that you'd be a good fit, please ask to join, fill out the questions, and I'll let you in pretty shortly thereafter if I feel you answer them sufficiently. Other than that, guys, that's it for today. This is Pete Weintraub, permanent weight loss specialist. I'm signing off for the week. Have a great rest of the week, everyone. I'll come back at you next Thursday with this live video. Talk to you later.